This is your standard vulcanized shoe. I'll just kind of run you through the construction and the parts. When you construct a vulcanized shoe, start out with this rubber outsole. Then you'll die cut out a midsole component. They'll put primer and glue on this, put it on a conveyor belt, run it through an oven, then slap it in to the outsole. You'll put primer and glue on the top of this and basically glue on your upper, which is the fabric part. Then they'll take glue and go all the way around this, and then they'll put on this rubber tape, which is called foxing tape. Kind of looks like a shoe. And they'll throw that into a huge oven with a bunch of other shoes, and when it comes out, it'll all be cured and glued together, and that's your standard Volt construction. This type of construction's been around for over 150 years. It serves skateboarding well, but there's some problems with it. Occasionally you'll get heel blowouts like this. It's also heavy in comparison to Fusion. Vulcanized shoes are very flexible, which is good, but Fusion is even more flexible. Now I'll kind of run you through how Fusion works. So we'll start out again with a rubber outsole. But you can see this one's a little bit different than what we had before. We're able to eliminate all this extra rubber, which is the heaviest thing that goes into a shoe. So right there we get a 20% weight savings, and we increase flexibility significantly. So start out with the outsole, and then in Fusion we'll stick this into a special mold that we created, and we'll pour in the midsole as a liquid instead of die cutting that foam and dropping it in. We use a polyurethane compound for the midsole, and while it's still in a liquid state, we'll take the upper and we'll drop it into that same mold, and it will go down into that liquid, and the liquid will basically soak up through that strobo board. The polyurethane is soaked up through all the little pore holes and nooks and crannies, and once it cures into a solid foam, the strobo board is fused between the shoe, so really there's no way to pull that apart. It's not going to naturally pop apart. At that point we have something like this. For a Volk shoe, if you were to take the foxing tape off, the shoe would fall apart. There's glue between the layers, but there's so much shear force in skateboarding that those glues soften up, and basically the foxing tape is the only thing holding the shoe together. With a Fusion shoe, you could skate this as is. It might feel a little weird, but it's not going to fall apart. The only thing left to do is put the foxing tape around, and we don't have to throw this in an oven because it's a cold process. And this is the only place where we'll use glues just to put the foxing tape on. And the cool thing about the Fusion process is we can use a water-based adhesive. We don't have to use like a gnarly petroleum-based adhesive that's got to go into an oven and hold up. So that's basically it. You end up with this, and you can see we've worn away the foxing tape just to show you that it's completely all held together and fused together, and it's not going to fall apart. So that's Fusion.